So Andy Davis back on the Consumer Electronics Show floor. And as we always do, we're looking for net new ways to find out what's happening within your body. That's so important to the future of health. So I'm here with Eli, and I want to talk about what they're measuring, but can you tell a little bit more like cortisol and progesterone? For the average viewer, why does it matter? Like, what do those do in your body?
Those two hormones are key hormones when it comes to health. Often when we think of cortisol, we think of stress, but it touches much more than that. It touches mental health, physical health, energy, performance, metabolic health, weight management. The list is almost endless because cortisol touches almost all bodily function, and that is true for women, but also for men at all ages. And when it comes to progesterone, often we think of this hormone as a reproductive hormone related to fertility, and it's true, but it plays a much broader role than that. When women go through perimenopause, progesterone is linked to a lot of symptoms that women experience. And it's also a key hormone when it comes to overall health for women. So it goes much beyond fertility. By tracking this hormone, the people are able to have a much better view into their health and know which action they can make to optimize it across a wide range of categories.
Awesome. So I think that's super helpful. So tell us a little bit more about the science behind what you collect, because you're collecting it very differently than if I were to go to a doctor's office right now, right?
Exactly. And the big gap that we saw when we started the company is that hormones fluctuate on a daily basis. They fluctuate all the time. But currently, if you want to measure your hormones, you need to go physically at a lab or order a sample collection kit and ship it back to the labs. So that whole process will take at best a couple days, but most often a couple weeks, sometimes even months. So by the time they receive the results, it's already too late to take action on them. And the price point is also not suited for that high frequency. So the gap we're filling, it's really that ability to have hormonal data instantly and being able to measure over time. We like to make the parallel with smartwatches, where it wouldn't make sense to have your heart rate once a year and then make decisions based on that for the rest of the days, 365 days of the year. Same goes with hormones. By having your data on a daily basis or frequently throughout the month, you're able to make decisions that matters for your health in real time.
As how effective is, because this is a saliva test, how effective is it at measuring relative to the blood test?
So there's a lot of existing research that show the correlation between the hormones in saliva and blood. So the gap there was not to prove that saliva is a valid way to measure hormone. The gap was on the technological side, being able to measure those hormones in saliva because their level is much smaller than in urine or blood. While their levels are correlated, they're much lower, so the technology that is required to measure them is a technology that required years of R&D to see the light of day.
Awesome. And so when you talk about the go-to-market plan, as you think about, like, how do you engage with, these are consumers, you're going after consumers, right? And like, what's your go-to-market plan?
Exactly. So the test would be available direct to consumer. And for us, that was important to put the product directly in the hands of people so that they're able to get this data themselves. They own the data and they're able to make the decisions based on it. Again, we like to make the parallel with smartwatches where they receive this data on their mobile app and they're able to make decisions based on that. And they can make the decision as well to share this data with their healthcare provider when relevant.
And so give me a frequency, because I could get a blood test once a year. I have a smartphone that's continuous. As you think about the science and recommendations, how often would you think someone, the average person, would need to get their hormones tested using this test?
For cortisol, it's important to test at least twice in the month, so 2 days, and once in the morning, once in the evening. And it's important to have at least those 2 data points, because what we want to look for cortisol is the full diurnal curve, because that curve reflects the health of the HPA axis that regulates all of those bodily functions. So having those 2 data points enables us to see how it fluctuates from morning to evening and have the data points that are much more powerful than a single one.
Yeah, as I was learning about this yesterday, doing it in the morning, doing it in the evening for the cortisol really matters, and it helps you understand like what's happening within your body at different times. So thank you for letting us talk here. Again, we're out here looking at different, you're finding here different ways to measure hormones easier to use. You don't have to go to a doctor. You can have the data yourself and find the actions that are right for you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.